cars, start your engines!
Yellow's out. Managed just about outranked him. And she busted her.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Monday, January 23rd. This month has flown by, man.
It is. It has.
Back in the studio for the second time this year. Episode number 2 for 2023. Episode number 32 overall. We're working our way up there. How we doing?
We're doing. I have nothing to report this week.
Dakota, I don't. Are you sharing? I know that we've shared the information on social media, but I'm assuming this is something you're going to talk about later.
Yeah, I feel like we have to address it.
So Dakota does have some news, but that's going to wait until a little bit later on in the show. But yeah, so first order of business here.
Before I get into my news, thanks to Swindell Speed Labs and Kevin Swindell and everyone at Swindell Speed Labs. We're not sponsored by them, but they came out with Victory Fuel, which last week I said was an energy drink, and I'm an idiot because I knew it wasn't. It's flavored electrolyte water.
I thought it was an energy drink too.
I knew it wasn't, and I don't know why I said that, but I'm excited to try it. So I guess first order of business.
Before we crack this open,
okay.
I do want to read. Kevin Swindell has a little paragraph on the back of this. Not really important, but I want to read it anyway. So it says, after being paralyzed in a racing accident, I realized I wasn't going to be able to treat my body as I did before. One of the things I had to change was my diet, so I began looking for a tasty alternative to the sugary drinks I used to consume. After a long search with no luck, I came to the conclusion I was going to have to create it myself. I wanted something that not only I could enjoy, but my daughter could enjoy too. With that, Victory Fuel was born. So here we have the Victory Fuel Throttled Punch.
So excited.
And we're going to give it a try.
And I believe this did debut at Chili Bowl.
Not a sponsor, by the way.
Not a sponsor.
Just taste testing here.
Nope, that's good.
That's pretty good.
I'm pissed because I'm going to spend all my money on it.
That's pretty good.
You can buy these online through Swindell Speed Labs. They have 4 packs, which is what I bought, and 12 packs. So I'm going to have to go back and stock up on this. It's really good.
It's funny because like you open the can and you like expect carbonation, and there is none. But no, that's really good.
I mean, I figured it would be good, but yeah, with anything new, it's like, oh, I don't know if I like it. That's really good. And now I'm mad because that's where my money's going to go.
I think I'm going to have to buy some, too.
Speaking of money and funding, that leads us into the next conversation.
Are you wanting to do this now or you want to do it at the end? Totally up to you.
Ooh, that's a good question. I never thought about probably get out of the way now. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Totally your call.
So if you follow us on social media, you would have seen that I made an announcement that I would not be competing in 2023. Even though a lot of people tried to persuade me a different way. But here's the way I see it. So I will not be competing in 2023. I'm taking the year off as a driver. And some of you might be like, it's not that deep, but I am really passionate about what we're trying to build here. And I think that there needs to be somebody who can spend time to do just that, to build it up more than we are now. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to take some time off from driving. The other part is because we are trying to build a team, and I'm trying, I would say, we all are, but I'm trying to build a legitimate brand of sorts. It's easier to kind of knock things away at smaller pieces. And so, on the team operation side of things, it's hard to get sponsors at all, but to try to get sponsors for 3 cars is unimaginably hard. And so I felt it'd be easier to try to get sponsors for 1, 2 cars now, and then worry about getting a set of sponsors for our last car, which would be me. At the end of the day, we have to take sacrifices, and I'm willing to make that sacrifice because I really do believe in what we're doing here. And I believe and I may be wrong, but I believe that this decision will pay off for everybody at the end of the day. So I guess that's all. That's my reason. I mean, I probably explained it horribly, but
No. So I was sitting at Cambridge Fieldhouse last night, and I opened my phone and I scrolling through Facebook, and I saw that you'd posted that, and I was like, "What?"
yeah,
But it wasn't like a total blindside. Dakota and I have talked about it before, and I always try to talk him out of taking the season off because Dakota racing is a large part of why I got in a car, why I got my own car. There were other reasons, but it was like, like Dakota was able to do it. Like I have someone's footsteps to kind of follow and be like, I'm new to this. He's still not
relatively new.
He's not brand new, but like he has more knowledge of like what's going on as far as just the racing thing in general. So I'm still learning. Granted, we did race in different classes, but like, so to see him not racing this year, it sucks.
It does,
But before, sorry, I don't.
No, you're fine.
But before, I do want to say thank you. I also believe in, I think that we are going to be able to make a brand of some sort, and I think that we're going to branch out a lot this year, and it's just it's hard for all of us to like one of us to step up because now that I have a family,
right?
So like I don't mean that in like a bad way, like
no,
hey, you do it, but like life happens,
and so like that was like I will say it wasn't an easy decision. I know I've talked about it before, but it was more out of frustration because I wasn't happy with where I'm at. I am content with where I'm at. I'm happy with where I'm at, racing wise. But it's not fair because it is a 3-way ownership. It's not fair I don't think it would be fair for me to put something on Jared's plate when he already has a lot to deal with. You have work and a family. My dad has work and a family, and my parents aren't active in the media side of things. And I'm cool with that because, I enjoy editing. I enjoy doing the content creation side of stuff. So it's not like I'm getting the bad end of the stick. Like I'm willing to put in the work because like I said, I do believe in this, and, that's just the way I see it. But yeah, it wasn't an easy decision. I know my parents were upset. Shaylin tried talking me out of it last night at the banquet. Yeah. And like, if anyone knows me personally, they would know that like, I do not like not being behind the wheel. Like last year, I was like wanting to get back in the race car when I couldn't.
Last year was really frustrating.
Yeah.
For you, though.
So
yeah.
So yeah, it's going to suck going to the track and not being able to race. But like I said, I think that this decision, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think this decision will pay off in the long run. Like I said, we're trying to build something here. I'm very happy with how far we've come in the last year. I think 2023 has a lot of great stuff in store for us. We were talking today about potentially doing something that I think would be amazing. And so I look forward to that. I also look forward to getting back in the wheel in 2024. And I hope that we have a lot of partners that would join us in that journey next year. But focusing now on, and the other point I want to make too was because, I've been in this since 2016, 2017. So I've had some races under my belt. And, like I was talking to Dad last night and he was like, I want to put you first. And I'm like, that's the problem. Like you've always put me first when it comes to racing. It's now your turn to come first. And so, I feel like I do well trying to reach out to potential partners. Did some of that last night. And so I think taking on this new role of like, not like trying to overstep anybody, but being a leader in my own way.
I would team, owner / manager. Like, you're literally like, you're just kind of grabbing the bull by the horns here.
Yeah.
And you're just like, we're going.
Yeah. And I enjoy doing that because like, I know I really do believe that like our versions or our visions of what we want DJG to be are like similar, very close together. but like, you know how I am. Like, you balance me out because you're like, slow down. Because I'm like
Dakota's
always like
Dakota's like full throttle, and I'm like
I want to own an Xfinity team. Like that's like how crazy it is. And I'm just
I'm like, okay, think if we have to take this many steps to get there.
Right.
So like, let's focus on the next step.
Right. And so I have taken that into consideration and have really been trying to draft some, I guess, like plays for our playbook this year to, get our name out there more. Like, I'm looking at, all of these opportunities to potentially market ourselves to like race fans who may not know who we are. We want to talk to as many, drivers and team members and team owners this year as we can. We really want to expand on our countdown series that we did last year with Winchester. I think that was a huge success, and like, I want to do that again this year. So, I guess I'm lucky to be able to do this to where I can like take the lead, because I know, like, again, like, it ain't fair for me. It wouldn't be fair for me to be like, Jarrett, you need to do all this, when that's just not possible. Or like my parents, who, no offense, have no idea what we're doing. So because
they really don't,
but because they don't on the media side of things, like, that's us. As far as the team side goes, everybody's kind of in the loop on things, but this is ours.
When it comes to the podcast and all like the social media stuff, like that's pretty much, well, actually, it's pretty much you.
Yeah, but I mean, I enjoy doing it, and it's not like last week, off topic, last week the power went out right before we hit record. We got the episode in, and then
the power went out.
Power went out while I was trying to edit it. Took 2 days to upload because the camera does phenomenal now, and it kills my laptop. So I finally had to try out my PC, and it finally uploaded at like 6 a.m. I was pissed, but it's part of it. I enjoy it.
I do want to say, though, like, you said earlier that you really enjoy editing and all this stuff, and
sometimes
this, that, and the other. I just want to point out to everybody that watches, listens, whatever, any of like our graphics, minus the logo itself, someone else did that for us because we didn't.
Not that good.
Yeah, but all like our like the announcements on social media, like the flyers that have been made, or like thumbnails for our most recent episode and stuff like that. That's all Dakota, and that's all self-taught. Like,
which I will say, again, lucky to be able to do this, even though, not everybody's going to like us, not everybody's going to listen or watch us. I'm cool with that. Like,
I'm not.
I would not have taken. I mean, okay, running joke is we survived a lot longer than other people. Besides the point. I would love to have him on one day. But anyway, I would not have taken the initiative. Like, going back to the start, like, our first episode was like last minute. It was like, hey, let's do this today. And we did it. And so, like, if I wasn't doing the podcast, like, this gives me something to do. I enjoy doing it. But I would not have taken the initiative to learn how to do anything that I'm doing now if it wasn't for Jarrett and the podcast. So I really am lucky and thankful that I get to do this stuff. And it's going to take a long time, I know, to kind of build DJG, both team and content, where I want it to be. But I am hopeful and confident that I do think we will achieve those goals, and we will get to where I want us to be in the future. I really do.
I think the most difficult thing as content creators is it's easy to just put out content.
Yeah.
You could, anything and everything. You could set up a camera of us just working out in the garage one day. But here's the problem. Is that what people want to see?
Right.
So if you could put out content all day, but if no one wants to watch it, they're not going to watch it. So you have to find like the happy medium where it's like, okay, how much of this can we put out? How well do people like it? And then once you find that, it's like, okay, here's what we're going with until the dynamic changes.
Yep.
But luckily, by the time you find that sweet spot and you have all the viewership, you'll have like interaction with viewers. It'll be like, okay, we want to see this, or we don't like this, but we like this.
Right. And I will say, voice your opinions. I really hope none of you are watching because you feel bad. Like, I hope you're watching because you really like what we do. I mean, I know I try hard. I know Jarrett tries hard. So tell us if it's shit. Tell us. We'll fix it, or we'll try to.
Literally, Dakota and I just, we'll text each other throughout the week and just toss out stuff. It's just like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? I'm thinking this.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm bad at it, though, because the first episode was last minute. Countdown to Winchester was last minute, but I would say it was a success. But yes, we do bounce ideas off of each other.
last minute or not, like, we still did it. And,
I'm
like,
surprised.
like, it
I
still
must say,
worked.
we got lucky, I think.
We
but
had, like, our first podcast, we had to restart like 18 times just
Yeah.
because it was like,
I couldn't stop laughing.
It was so new to us. We were like kind of nervous. You know, there was no audience watching us. We didn't have a camera set up. It was literally just the recording, and then we just couldn't get it figured out.
I would say you did pretty well. I could not stop laughing. I could say 3 words, and I would just die laughing. Don't know why.
It was that,
Trucks passing by.
vehicles passing by. We said 40 million times.
I still do it. I go back and edit, and I'm like, ooh.
It's not as bad.
Oh, it is.
I guess maybe I just don't pick up on it as much now.
But I also watch the video back 3 times before I upload it to make sure it's like I got everything that I needed to get. But yes, I will not be competing in 2023. It sucks, but I think it is for the. I really do think that it'll be for the best for all of us, and I look forward. I will still be at the track, but I also did say that, like, you know, I wanted to do content at the track last year, but it's very hard to do as a driver because, yes, we could just do in-car camera, but, like, I wanted to get some, like, footage from the pits and, like, what we were doing on the cars, if anything, so on and so forth. Now that I don't have to worry about driving, I mean, I'm going to get footage from the track, so I'm looking forward to that too. So hopefully we'll have, like, maybe, like, weekly vlogs. I'm not promising anything, by the way, but maybe, you know, like a weekly vlog during race season, what have you. But
I'll tell you what, dude.
that's another opportunity.
The difference in how time goes by as a driver versus someone who's just hanging out in the pits is insane. Now, I don't know if it's like this at every track because we've only raced at Mount Lawn,
Right.
But you know, when you're just helping in the pits, it's just like, okay, you do whatever, you send your driver out, they come back. When you're a driver, it feels like the moment you get out of the car, you have to get back in to go for like your next practice or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, even like from a fan's perspective, because I've been there, or like if we're like watching races in between our stuff, it's like it feels like it goes by forever. And then it's like, as a driver, when you're getting ready for your feature, your heat races or practice or whatever it is, I mean, it's like Jarrett said, you're getting in the car, you're going out on the track, you're getting out, and you maybe have 10 minutes, and then you're right back in the car. Like racing time is different for a driver than anybody else.
It's so weird to explain, but
yeah.
No, I experienced that the first time I raced. I was like, I just got out of the car.
Yeah.
Like, there was 4 classes that practiced in between us. Why am I getting back in
Maybe it
already?
doesn't help, though, that some of the classes only had like 10 cars, but
still,
yeah,
it's just like on any normal, like, it's like, okay, you know, when I was just helping you guys, is like, get you in your car, you go out, and then it's like, I felt like 2 hours went by before you had to get back in the car, and then it's like, you start driving, you're like, oh, it's really fast.
yeah. So,
before we get into what we have on our show notes, I don't know if you have it on here or not. Just really quick. Let me skim through here. No. Okay, so Mount Lawn had their banquet last night. Dakota was there. I was not. I was at Disney on Ice. But how did that go? Tell us a little bit about it.
When we first got there, I mean, how much detail do you want? It was packed.
I don't care. As much as you feel like telling.
Jimmy and Dave said that they were only expecting maybe 150, if that. Like, they didn't think that they would surpass 100. There was 180 people in attendance.
Where was it at again?
The little restaurant at Prairie Creek. It's like a little tiny restaurant, way over capacity. We got in, had no place to sit. Thankfully, they had one extra table that they didn't even put out yet. They set it up and we took it. Food was decent. A lot of awesome door prizes, I guess. I didn't get to win any, so I don't know.
They had a lot of like T-shirts. And hats.
I mean, I did get a hat. Yeah, it was cool. And then they just recognized the top 10 guys, I think.
Top 10 for points in each class.
Yeah. And so.
Shout out to Greg.
Yeah.
He got 7th place tied for 7th place in the Crown Vic points.
Yep.
And I will say, I was talking to Dakota before we started the show. The trophy that he got for tied 7th place in points is a really large trophy. Like, it's a pretty good sized trophy. So,
yep.
Congratulations to Greg. Hopefully, next year I will be up there.
I would love to know where I ended up finishing at.
I mean, I only ran 2 races.
But
so.
I do want to say also congrats to Brent, who finished 10th.
He finished 10th
in the modifieds. And that was a tough field of cars all year.
There's a lot of really good modifieds. Also, have you seen pictures of his car?
Mm-mm.
Randy and Keegan did all the sheet metal on it, and it looks gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. I did hear that Jimmy did mention that he was hanging a new body, but
yeah,
I have not seen. He also got to meet Haley Deegan. Sucks. Yeah. So I was watching. Was it for this? No, was it for this one or last one? I think it was last episode. I was watching her YouTube video. Yeah. I was watching her video about like her announcing that she was going to go to Thor, and I saw it and I sent it to Jen. I was like, "Damn, he's living our dreams."
Yeah, he's famous.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, now getting into show notes. So first
22 minutes in.
20. Really?
Yeah.
Damn. First things first. We have some NASCAR news. Dakota, I will let you handle whatever you want out of this.
I guess I'll take number 1 and we can just jump back and forth.
Sounds good to me.
Goodness. Okay. Dirty Mo Media has announced that Denny Hamlin will join their lineup of podcasts in 2023 with Actions Detrimental with Denny Hamlin. Hamlin, who will be joined with Jared Allen, his social media rep, will release weekly episodes on Mondays. Their first episode will drop on February 6th following the NASCAR Clash in LA.
So, I don't really have any comments about the whole Denny Hamlin situation, but I do have a comment about the Clash.
Mm-hmm.
It makes 0 sense to me how I believe there's a football field.
Mm-hmm.
They rip up the football field last year.
Yeah.
Paved it for the Clash, tore all the pavement out, put the football field back down, just to tear the football field back out and pave it again for the Clash this year. That seems like a huge waste of money. And I know some people will be like, well, what about Bristol Dirt? Well, they're not. They're just loading dirt onto the track and unloading dirt. It's not, they have to rip up an entire football field. And
yeah,
I mean, I don't know, just blows my mind. I feel like there's better ways to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no opinion on it. I will say, though, that if you do watch Jenny's podcast, like I probably will, watch ours first. Because ours hopefully come out on Mondays.
So,
speaking of the Clash,
NASCAR has announced that they will be awarding medals to the top 3 finishers in Sunday's race. The move is to symbolize the venue as well as the Olympic Games that were once hosted there. With the award ceremony is said to be held under the Olympic cauldron. NASCAR Vice President for Racing Development and Strategy, Ben Kennedy, said, "These will be tremendous prizes for our drivers who are competing inside a venue that's hosted 2 Olympic Games and is preparing for a 3rd. Not only do the medals honor the rich tradition of this stadium, but they also provide a special element unique to NASCAR's 75th anniversary." Is it this weekend?
February 5th.
Okay, I was like, huh?
2 weeks away, I believe.
They already also have dirt on Bristol?
Do they?
Yeah, because isn't Bristol Dirt Nationals early in the year?
I don't know.
I'll have to look at the schedule, but
I think so.
I am fairly certain that they already have dirt on the track.
I wouldn't doubt it.
This is so good.
Colleague Racing, I know, has announced that Chandler Smith will attempt to qualify for the Daytona 500, partnered with Quick Tie Products. Smith will join Jimmy Johnson, Travis Pastrana, Zane Smith, and Austin Hill, who will also be making attempts to qualify into this year's race. It is believed that there could also be several other drivers who will make attempts, including Helio Castroneves, who is rumored to be looking for a ride. I
also want to point out that the rumored Travis Pastrana in the other 2311 ride for the Daytona 500 was correct.
Yep.
That was mentioned last week, so cool to see Travis behind the wheel of a Cup car.
I mean, I'm excited to see this year's Daytona 500. I think they said there's like already 40. What is it? Like several more than what like the limit is.
See, that has to be a thing.
Yeah.
At, like every race. It's not just the same 42 guys show up. And
Yeah.
they need to have, like, it would be so nice if there was like 50 cars, and so like the bottom 8 whatever guys is different every week.
It would be crazy to see like a regular get booted out of the Daytona 500.
That's what I'm saying. So you have like, sorry Cody, but Cody Ware, Travis Pastrana shows up, boots him out of the 500.
Or like someone like, I'm saying like someone like Chase Elliott. I mean, not to see Chase Elliott, but like a big name.
Like have just like a terrible qualifying run. Like, oh man, could you imagine?
I'm saying that would be insane.
It would happen eventually. I'm not going to say it would happen I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be
NASCAR Twitter would blow up.
Yeah, I think it would be a good thing for the sport, honestly.
Yeah.
But I just know that if that happened, it would be like one of my favorite drivers, and then I would be super mad. I'd be like, this is so much bullshit.
Yeah, anyone but Chase.
Yeah, I would hate it. I know I would. Let's see.
Silly season is what we're moving into, I guess, but I am a little surprised to see it happening this close to the kickoff of the season, I would say. But it's the business.
Is it fair to say that silly season never ends in NASCAR now?
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But, like, I can't remember a time where it was, like, 2 weeks before the start of the season, and it's like, I don't have a ride.
Well, I don't want to say it's never been like that. Or do we just notice it more? Do we just notice it more now because we pay more attention to that stuff?
That could be.
That's my thing. I'm like, this may be very normal. Like, we've just started paying more attention.
I would like to strike down the words I just said. That could be.
But who knows? Landon Castle announced on Twitter that he will not be competing full-time for Kaulig Racing in 2023. He says, unfortunately, I won't be driving the 10-car full-time this year. However, my quest to win in NASCAR continues. Sponsorships drive my business, and my sponsors over the last 2 years have been through a lot. Rebuilding will be my top priority. I hate to see drivers are just like, I can't compete full-time. Like, hear me out. As someone who only ran 2 races last year, I had the ability to run all of them. I just didn't do it. So the fact that it's just like your job is a race car driver, and you're like, I think to me, I would either want to do it all the time or not at all.
Mm-hmm. Right, but he's saying he can't because he doesn't have the money.
I know, but like,
yeah,
it would just bug me.
Oh, if somebody's like, I'm just not going to do it.
No. I'm saying like me as a driver, like funding whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like if I don't have enough money to run full time, I'm not doing it at all.
Oh, okay. It clicked. Yeah.
Now that's probably a terrible outlook on things, but
I'm sure some people have the same thought process though. I would take what I can get, but I could understand that side of the coin too.
See, that's the thing. I see your side too. Take what you can get and just do whatever you can with it. Because in that sense, it's like, okay, well, I can only run part-time, but if I do some amazing things while I'm running part-time, it could lead to something bigger.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. On the other flip side of that, Ryan Vargas announced on Twitter that he has joined On Point Motorsports for 2023, driving the number 30 Toyota Tundra for 7 races, which include Atlanta, Darlington, Nashville, Mid-Ohio, Richmond, Talladega, and Homestead. He followed up the news announcing that he has also joined Clayton Harmon Keller Racing in the Xfinity Series. There he will serve as their anchor driver as well as their development lead.
Like to see that.
I do too. I will say, I love Vargas. I also love he is literally like Cody Connor in NASCAR, where it's like these guys deserve opportunities and they have to fight 10 times harder to get them. And so like it is like inspirational to see like the little guy finally gets a break, because I think that this will obviously be a great opportunity for him. But like, I just can't imagine how much time and effort he's had to put into it, because like, if we were to talk to somebody like Cody Connor or Ryan Vargas or any of those other smaller guys, it's like, why, like, how did you not give up is what I want to know. Because it's like, I think almost anybody else would be like, nothing's going my way. So it's like, what's the point? It's like, how did you keep your determination alive, I guess?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Like, those are the perfect questions to ask because, you know, I feel like in that myself in that situation, like I would want to give up. Real, like, you know, it's just kind of one of those. It's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
You just kind of feel at wit's end, for better terms, I guess.
Because it's also like working your way up through any rank of racing on our side of it is like, it seems like it's hard. It is hard. But then it's like you reach one of the 3 levels of NASCAR and you finally get there. And then it's like the opportunity gets in a way taken away from you. It's like, how do you like keep trying? It's like, I know for me, it'd be really hard to be like, all right, I'm going to keep my head up and just keep going and going and going. I'd be like, I've made it to NASCAR. I've had my opportunity. Didn't work out. It's like, what's left for me? And I'd probably be the one going out the door.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I mean, if you follow Ryan Vargas on any social media, he's just always very positive.
Yeah.
Like, he was flaunting his sponsorless fire suit the other day. And I'm just like, man, I'm like, that, to me, like, this is like, I would look down at it and be like, kind of like I do now.
Yeah. Yeah.
My fire suit's plain black, which makes sense. I'm just a little
and that's why
track racer, but
right. And that's why I would love to talk to Cody because, like, Cody specifically, I know we've only followed him for a couple years, but that kid is like always positive. I've never seen him be negative, and it's just like it's not NASCAR, but it's still like super late model racing. It seems like super late model racing is taking a turn. Like, he wants to go and do like compete at these big races, and like people have asked him like, hey, are you coming down to like this race, or are you going to that race? And he's like, if I had the funding. And it's just like, how do you stay positive? Because it's like I run a compact, and there were like times last year where I was like, I'm done. And it's like, I run like the lowest level of asphalt racing.
It costs $30 for me to get in the track.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't do it.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. And it's just like, they're you know, racing's expensive. They're basically pissing away money. And it's just like, how do you keep going? That's what I want to know.
And that's where, like, that's how you see, you know, you see how important sponsorships are.
Yeah.
But it's not like people are just out handing out money.
Yeah. Especially in this economy.
Especially in this economy. So it's tricky. At least at lower levels, like what we're at, it's more manageable to spend your own money. It's not ideal, don't get me wrong. A lot of people at that race at our level have sponsors.
Right.
But, like, you know, for me, every bit of money that got put into the Crown Vic for last year was mine. I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know. It's just, it would be nice to not have to do that. But if that's what it takes for me to be able to race and, like, I can afford to do so, I'm going to do it. But then you get up to levels like super late models, and that's, you just can't do, like, that's not possible.
Not unless you're like
Jeff Bezos.
Coughlin. But sorry.
No, I mean, you're not wrong.
Like,
it's just like you have to have an endless amount of money.
But it's also like, and I'm sure like this would be another question I'd ask Cody, is like, when you reach out to potential partners and it's like they tell you no or whatever they tell you, it's like, how can they see you and say no? It's like, you went down to the Snowball Derby, you did phenomenal. You know, like every opportunity you get to get out in that car, it seems like you're always doing well. You're always positive. I think he does great on social media. Ryan Vargas is the same way. Like, drivers like that who are great on social media and they still tell you no, and it's just like, why?
Right.
Like, why would you not want that person to represent your brand?
Absolutely. And I guess I kind of understand where, you know, maybe some of these companies are coming from. It's like, you have talent, but you're not winning races. So it's like, why do we want to be on your car?
I mean, fair enough. But
at the same time, it's just like, why does it matter?
But on the flip side of that, and I know you're going to understand this, is like, how can I win if, like, I'm doing the best that I can with what I have?
Exactly. It's like, it's a huge, like, it's just a big circle. It's like, well, you're not winning, so we're not going to sponsor you. And you're like, well, I can't win because I don't have enough funds to do what I want to do.
Compete with these people. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't get it. It is frustrating though, because like, I do think that, you know, those guys deserve an opportunity. I think they would do great at it.
You know, hard work pays off for sure. Like, I'm not saying that's not a thing. Hard work trumps anything. But when it comes to, like, racing, you can work hard all you want, but you have to have money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And
Yeah.
I hate that that's the way that it is, because I feel like, you know, how we were talking about, or we've talked about before, sorry. There's a lot of people who would be very, very, very good behind the wheel of a race car that just can't afford to do so.
Yep.
So
I also kind of, while we were talking about that, it kind of made me think back to Chili Bowl. Like, we saw a lot of big name sponsors on those cars. It's like,
but it's all the Keith Kunz cars.
I mean, fair enough, but it's like, how is dirt racing? It goes back to the conversation that we've always had. It's like, how is dirt racing outperforming asphalt racing? Like, even on the sponsorship level of things, it's like you see cars with like big name brands.
Yeah, there's like, okay, so you have, well, for Chase Briscoe, you had the Mahindra tractors, you had Rowdy Energy, you had Mobile One, all these, like, all the Toyotas had Yahoo.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's like, how, it's like, you see that on the dirt side, and I think that's great. Dirt's figured it out. And then it's like on asphalt, it's like, I've never really seen like big name, like, compared, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't think of any sponsors that I can compare to those, except for like a handful.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's as, I don't know, it depends. Because when Kyle Busch had his super late model team, he had like the Mobile One and all that stuff. But
yeah, but like that was through his like NASCAR career too.
Right.
I'm talking like any other like Joe Blow.
Oh.
You're not seeing like Yahoo on a super late model, to my knowledge.
I mean, Nassie had Brembo. I don't know if you would consider that to that caliber, but yeah, I think you're right.
I'm just saying, like, on the asphalt side of things, it's like, it seems like it's always like,
yeah,
like small business, which is fine. Like,
for the most part, I think you're right.
Support small business. We are small business, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see Yahoo or like, the other like brands that you see on dirt cars on asphalt. So it's like, I wonder why like brands might get turned away from asphalt racing.
Probably because it's so expensive. Whereas,
oh yeah, that's true. Because dirt, I guess, would be relatively
dirt's a lot
cheaper. Yeah.
And I also want to say, I think something else that might have to do with it is that dirt runs way more races.
That's true.
Than asphalt.
Yeah.
At least to my knowledge.
I think
because you have USAC, you know, then you have the regular USAC season, then you have like, well, it depends. Because there's so many different forms of dirt racing that are very similar. So you have like, you have USAC, World of Outlaws, All-Star Circuit of Champions, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you come to Chili Bowl and Tulsa Shootout, and it's just,
I guess that would make sense. But it's like
so much.
You think it's well, we won't go into that. Never mind. Disregard.
I don't know. I would really like.
I would like to know, like, what, like,
but I don't know how to get that answer.
Yeah, we need to reach out to like brands that like sponsor dirt and be like, has anyone on the asphalt side of things reached out to you, and what turned you away from asphalt racing? Because
hey,
I do
speaking
think
of people to get on the show, Kaylee Bryson's moving to Indiana.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. That'd never happen, but
you don't know that.
Not anytime soon.
Should reach out to Logan CV following his Chili Bowl win on K-Bud.
That's true. Listen, I don't know why I'm saying this now, but we need to just, like, in situations like that, just reach out to people. If they ignore us or say no, they say no or ignore us.
Yeah, that's what we did. Side topic. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
We're good at it. That's what we did for Winchester. Our countdown series, we literally like reached out like 2 days before we were going to do it, and
it's going to be a lot more organized this year. Like,
well, you also got to think though too. Like, we work full-time jobs, and like, he has a family. My parents have parents are not even associated with this, but so it's like we don't have a lot of time to just like spend all day. Like, hey, you want to talk to us? Like, we don't have a lot of time to like record. Like, we have to do it out after work. So if you all want to like pay one of us some money to like work full time on this, I would greatly appreciate it, and I promise you our stuff would be a lot better. But like, seriously, on a serious note, it's like time management. We don't have a lot of time to play with.
And then after we record, we have editing.
Yeah, and you also got to think too, like, yes, we would love to have guests on. We've talked about it. I have a whole list in my room somewhere. But it's also like you have to work on their schedules too. Like, so I don't know if we ever talked about it, but like our Countdown to Winchester series, we were going to talk to Michael Hind. Was really looking forward to it, but our schedules just did not line up. And so, like, that's just part of it. It's unfortunate, but that's just what we're dealing with. But I think, again, like, what I would love here, I'm going to say this. What I would love for this to turn into is a full-time position for all of us. But I would love for it to be like something that we could spend more time on. The problem is we have to have, that's part of it, but we also have to just have the time to work around everyone else's schedules. And it's like, yeah, we could work on it on Saturdays, but it's like, we got
during race season.
Yeah.
We race on Saturdays now.
And you can't talk to anybody on Sunday.
No, but I do want to say, like, I think this is where you taking the season off, as much as it sucks, that's where this comes into play as a benefit.
I think so.
And, you know, like you said, you're really good at reaching out to people. And, you know, we have ideas. We're putting stuff together on, like, how to format things when we reach out to customers, potential partners.
Right.
Sorry, I'm thinking work and saying
exactly.
customers, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, anywho,
back off that tangent that we just went on. William Sawalich, I can never say that right the first time, will also be busy in 2023 as he joins Joe Gibbs Racing for 20 races in the ARCA Series. As part of this multi-year deal, Sawalich will compete full-time in the ARCA E Series, driving the number 18. He will also join Tricon Garage in 2023. Who is that?
That was David Gillen Racing. They rebranded.
Yes, that's right. Sorry. It's not fresh in the brain. I forgot. I've slept since last week.
Yeah, it's been
barely, but I have.
We talked about it last year, 2022, so it's been a minute.
Has it really been? Man. Anyway, he will compete in 6 races: Martinsville, Mid-Ohio, Richmond, Lucas Oil Raceway, Milwaukee Mile, and Bristol.
NASCAR announced their 2023 rookie class across their 3 series. In the Cup Series, Noah Gragson and Ty Gibbs will compete for the title. In the Xfinity Series, Sammy Smith, Parker Retzlaff, sorry if that's wrong, and Chandler Smith, who was just approved today, I believe, to compete for Rookie of the Year. They will be in contention for that title. In the Truck Series, Nick Sanchez will battle Raja Caruth, Jake Garcia, Brett Holmes, and Daniel Dye for the title.
That Truck Series Rookie of the Year title will be a fun one to watch.
For sure.
I think so.
For sure.
Drum roll, please. Not really. Short track news. The SRX Series has released a list of drivers who have been confirmed for their 2023 season. So far, Kevin Harvick is set to compete at Stafford and Berlin. Clint Boyer is set to compete at Stafford, Motor Mile, and Lucas Oil Speedway. Kyle Busch will be competing at Motor Mile and Berlin. Elio Castroneves will compete at Motor Mile, Berlin, and Lucas Oil. No drivers have yet been announced for Thunder Road or Eldora.
This is some exciting news. Jackson Mansico, sorry if that's wrong. I told my mom the other day, I was like, I'm bad with names, because they were trying to, sorry, off topic. They were looking for an MC for the banquet, and I was like, I'll do it, but I suck at names. 700. Anywho, Jackson will be joining Brad Hayes Racing in 2023 to compete full-time in the 500 Sprint Car Tour. Jackson, who will be making the jump from midgets, said, I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to work with throughout the racing season, and I'm excited to take my next step in racing.
I'm excited. He's raced at Mount Lawn before in the Canyon Midgets. He raced at the, was it the Rumble in Fort Wayne?
I saw him.
He's the one that flipped at Anderson.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Almost cleared the fence.
Right in front of me. Scary.
But yeah, super cool. What we got next? Casey Kane took to Twitter to announce that he would be competing full-time with the World of Outlaws in 2023. Simply saying, motorhome life with the family, racing all over the country sounds good to me. Thankful for great partners and fans who make it all go. It's that simple.
Exactly. I'm excited to see him get back into racing full-time.
Oh, for sure. You know, I don't know. It's just, I like seeing all, like, names that I'm familiar with, like, from my childhood, or, like, not childhood, but I guess childhood that are still racing. It's just like, hey, I can get out here with the rest of you guys. Why couldn't I?
Right.
I still got it.
Yeah. Christopher Bell announced on Twitter that he has created an open wheel team alongside his father-in-law, Brian. Not even going to try it. Who will also serve as the team's crew chief. Thank you. Eric Manfras will serve as the team's second mechanic. Bell also announced that Jaden Bowling, Gavin Boschel, and Colin Hutchinson will compete with the team in 2023.
The Gavin Boschel ran well at Chili Bowl, or it was Chili Bowl or Tulsa or both. I don't know. I recognize that name from one of those. So that's cool. I think it's important that these guys in the Cup Series stick with anything grassroots that they can.
Well, I was also going to say, before we get into that next piece of news, which is huge, I didn't put it in here because I forgot, but you reminded me. Tanner Thorson announced that he was going to be starting essentially a development program in the dirt world.
Hit me up.
Yeah. Well, you have to hit him up with some money, but
I got $5. What can I get for $5?
Maybe a lap.
You can put the gas in the gas tank.
Right? You can push the car.
Yeah, let me get on the quad and push the start it. God, that's for you, Chance. Anyway, on Saturday, Torgerson Racing announced the following. In the next few days, we will have a team of knowledgeable individuals doing our best to recreate the incident to get a better understanding to what makes the most sense as to what happened during the wreck. This is referring to the wreck with Ashton Torgerson at Chili Bowl, where he came out of the car.
Yeah.
As far as I know, he's doing fine.
Yeah. I mean, he's still recovering, but it seems like all is good with the situation.
They continue to say, we know with utmost certainty that Ashton's belts were properly latched and cinched tightly, as he has done countless times over his 10-plus years of racing, which is crazy because he's only 16. Mm-hmm. We want to know the details and get them shared with everyone to prevent this from ever happening again, and we should have more to pass along in the coming days. So I don't know if I don't know if they're required to have the restraint on their arms to keep them down. I don't know if that's a requirement or what, but basically it just keeps their arms from flailing out of the vehicle when it flips. I just happen to think that the first initial flip was so violent that, like, when his arm came across or something, it unlatched his belts.
I will say, first of all, I think they'll know that answer pretty quickly because after the car flipped, was the belts still together or not? Like, fastened. Secondly,
I'm going to assume not.
I'm going to assume not if they're going to research it.
Simply because, like, all I know is if they run the same 5-point harness that we have in our cars, there's no way.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Secondly, I am surprised in a way by this news because we had talked about it last week, and we really weren't sure. We had talked about whether or not they were going to release any information publicly or if they were going to withhold it, because a lot of people on Twitter were saying, this needs to be researched. There needs to be essentially a report given as to what happened and why and how to prevent it. And I was a little skeptical of that. I didn't know if they were going to do that or not because it did come down to the family doing it. The series wasn't going to do it, and I don't believe they were going to force them to do it. But I didn't think that they would do it. Part of me thought that. The other part of me was like, I think they will because I think they know that people want to know. So I guess I'm glad that they're doing this to potentially prevent it from happening again. But, like, again, we're all curious as to what happened. And so I guess, not that it's our business, but I appreciate that they're going to try to shed light on what happened to prevent it from happening again.
I would go, I don't know. My thought process, if I were them, isn't even necessarily, we're doing this to help somebody else, even though that may be the case. But Ashton's like, when can I get back in the car? They're like, well, we don't want that to happen to you again specifically.
Right. Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah. If that was my mom, she would be like...
Your mom would be like, yeah, she would. They would have been like, load it up, put a for sale sign on it, get it out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a tough kid, though.
I mean, heck, your mom, someone gets 6 foot away from your car on the racetrack. She's like, "Don't touch my car!"
She does. If I have the weekly vlogs, you might see it.
Oh, that's gonna be great. Can we create a segment called like Deanna's Dilemmas or something like that? Just her reactions to like us on the
We
racetrack.
bring her on every week. Like, what's what's the dilemma today?
That's great.
That would be hilarious. We can talk about that.
Absolutely.
Moving into some iRacing news. The 2023 iRacing Daytona 24 saw 16,651 declared drivers, 4,191 teams, and 85 splits. That's all I know. I tried watching it because I knew 2 people personally who was competing. But honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how it works. So
I think they're teams of 4.
yeah. I mean, I get that part and like they switch.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's scored.
Just
Whoever stays in first?
whoever runs the most laps.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, like you still pass people and like
Yeah.
you're in first, but it's scored the same way as a regular
Okay.
race. I think, to my knowledge, it is
Hell if I know.
because
You could tell me that and I would believe it.
I mean, that I don't know how else they would score it.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I want to run in this next year. I'm just a terrible road course racer.
I won't.
Terrible.
Yeah, I suck at it and won't even try it.
You could be my spotter.
Maybe. Yeah, I enjoy spotting. I suck at it because I don't talk enough. But
I would love to get in with Kyle Frame because Kyle ran it this year.
yeah, Kyle and Brian McCann did too.
Yeah,
With
both
his team.
McCann's. It was McCann's, one of the quicks, Neil, and then they had one other person that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they did, but
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I saw like I don't know. Anyway, just wanted to say we would like to congratulate all the drivers who competed in this year's event, and if you won, congratulations. I don't know who won, and I don't know how it scored, but
again, I would love to run in this race. I said something to my friend Chance last year about, hey, we need to get a team together to run this race next year. And then it was like the weekend before. I said, hey, you know what we didn't do? Put a team together to run.
did you mention it during Chili Bowl? I feel like you did. Somebody did.
Yeah, maybe that was when I said it.
But no, I mean, I think you guys talked about it last year too
Oh, I
during
see what
Farming
you're saying.
Sim.
Yeah, probably. Guarantee it. That's funny. So the IROC Dirt Series has announced that they have partnered with TeamVLR.com Dirt Sim Racing, who will co-sanction the IROC Dirt Series in 2023. Season 2 of the IROC Dirt Series will feature big block modifieds competing in 12 races. Features will consist of 24 cars with 5 heat races each race night. Sorry. The top 4 from each heat will transfer to the A main. There will also be 2 B mains, with the top 2 transferring to the A. The series will compete on Sunday nights, with the season kicking off on February 19th. Entry fees are $50, with the top 15 being paid out, and the 2023 champion will take home $1,500. If you are interested, be sure to check out the IROC series on Facebook for more information. I officially am registered for that series. I registered today. Originally, the set start time was supposed to be 9 p.m. on Sunday nights. They moved it to 5 p.m.
I did see that,
Eastern
thankfully.
time on Sunday night. So that is why I registered, because I was like, I don't want to stay up that late.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I don't particularly like racing. I love the guys we race with on Thursdays, but I just hate being up that late and having to get up and go to work the next morning.
Yeah. I will say, though, before we move into the last topic, I would love, because I'm sure you'll try to, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, you'll try to stream, but I know like last year we tried to keep up on our iRacing side of things. I would definitely be posting a lot about that. I will be competing in the asphalt IROC series. Jarrett will be competing in the dirt series, which I think is cool. I'm going to be watching. I suck at dirt. Tried it. Ain't good at it. But
It's very hard to get used to. I will say, though, I am talking Shalina into upgrading the internet here soon. So she's like, well, it works fine for me. I said, for you, not for me.
Yeah.
I said, I'm willing to pay the extra to get the internet that I need to be able to stream. So I was like, I will solely take over the internet bill
right.
to have what I want. I am perfectly okay with that.
Right.
So
hopefully
we'll see how
things
that
work
goes.
out. The last topic is SpeedFest 2023. There will be 5 different divisions of racing with a 150 lap super late model race and a 100 lap JEGS All-Star Tour Pro Late Model race. It will also be the first race under the new branding for the ASA CRA Super Series powered by JEGS and the ASA Southern Super Series presented by Sunoco Race Fuels. Oops. 25 Super Late models have now entered, with 23 cars appearing on the Pro Late Model entry list. Notable entries include David Reagan, Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar, and Jake Garcia. Defending SpeedFest winners Bubba Pollard and Michael Hind are both entered, along with All-American 400 champions Stephen Nasse, Matt Craig, and Casey Roderick. Let me see here. Sorry, guys, I didn't read this yet. Racing will kick off on Saturday at 1 p.m.
This is in Georgia, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because the lady I work with is driving down there to drive the pace car for this race.
Lucky her. I would love to go down there and watch.
I've never seen this track. I've heard of it, but I've never watched a race there. So,
Anywho,
I'll be in Brown County this weekend, but I might have to pull it up and watch it while I'm chilling in the hot tub or something.
lucky. You can also find live coverage of the event on Racing America TV as always. Shout out to Racing America. Love them. They liked my tweet about me announcing that I wasn't competing, and I was like,
who did?
Racing America.
Oh, really?
They're like, sucks. Like,
Good, we didn't like you anyway.
They're like, who the hell are you?
I want to say this. Can I say this without getting canceled? Yeah, I can.
I hope so.
There's a guy from Panama City, Florida, in the SpeedFest 150. His name's Timmy Watson, and I read that, and all I could think of was South Park. Timmy.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I guess to kick off the All-Stars Tour entry list, I will quickly go down the list and hope I don't butcher anybody. Spencer Bragg, Nicholas Noggle, Steve Dorr, Benjamin Jones, Bryson Schaefer, Brian Dimland, Brett Suggs, David Reagan, Dawson Sutton, Cody Hall, Justin South, Seth Christensen, Johnny Erminda, sorry guys, Josh Hicks, Robbie Taylor, Zach Dixon, Michael Hind, Gavin Graham, Cale Hall, Katie Hedinger, Dylan Fetcho, Warren Mobley, and Joseph Mayer.
Read the super late model list?
Sure. Me?
No, do you want me to?
Yes, please.
Okay. William Sawalich. Gosh!
That's how I say it.
I did it again. William Sawalich, Nicholas Noggle, Tony Elrod, Steve Dorr, Carson Hocevar, Casey Roderick, Gio Ruggiero, Corey Heim, Billy Vainmeter, TBA.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is.
Bubba Pollard, Timmy Watson, Dusty Williams, Hunter Wright, Jake Garcia, Michael Goddard, Jet Nolan, Stephen Nasse, Jake Finch, Matt Craig, Michael Atwell, John Kaufman, Jason Lester, Colin Allman, and Michael Hind.
So I guess my question is, who do we got? I think going back to All-Stars Tour, I think I'd go with Dylan. Super Series. I don't know. I think Bubba Pollard does pretty well here.
I'm going Michael Hind in the All-Stars Tour, and
fair enough. Oh, I didn't even completely forgot about
Sawalich, and you just
Yeah, he's
can't.
good too.
You can't.
You know what? Disregard. I hate picking people because it's hard.
It's very difficult.
Because, I mean, it's a stacked field in both classes.
Racing
So,
is one thing that I will not bet on.
Yeah.
Everybody, like a lot of my friends do sports betting, and they're like, "Hey, Jarrett, who do I bet on for this race?" I'm like, "Dude,
Close your eyes and pick a number.
pretty much." And they're like, "Well, this is your thing." I'm like, "Yes, but you like comparing betting in NASCAR, comparing like to betting in football. Like, okay, so you can choose just one team to win outright against the other, or what have you." I'm like, "But in NASCAR, if you're just choosing the winner, it's this guy versus 40 some other people." I'm like, "It's not that simple."
Right.
I'm not saying sports betting in general is simple. Like, obviously you have upsets and stuff happens, but you have a 50-50 shot, whereas for NASCAR, you don't.
Like, what, 1 in 43?
But they do have little, like, there's other bets where, like, you can do head-to-heads with drivers who finishes better or what have you.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as just picking the outright winner of the race, it's just like,
I don't know.
just like last year, was it at Daytona where there was like 6 cars left and someone bet that those 6 cars would finish in the top 10 or whatever, and they made a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but there's money to be made. It's just
You have to know what you're doing.
yeah, or get very, very, very lucky.
Yeah, that's true.
Going back to you not competing this season, I have one thing I do want to say.
Okay.
I say we take this opportunity to get you behind the wheel of a Crown Vic a couple times. Maybe not for races if you don't want to, but at least practice in one.
It's been talked about. I've asked Dad if I could. Granted, it was going to be during the off season. To just get in and see what it's like. I would like to.
Yeah.
Would I ever race one? Probably not.
Why?
I don't know.
Just because you like your front wheel drives?
I do.
I mean, it's very different.
It is. It is. And no shade of this person, but somebody jumped into a Crown Vic last year thinking that it would be easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and they went head first in the wall. So it is a very different, very different environment, I guess.
You got to think, going from a front wheel drive to a rear wheel drive car, when you're getting sideways in a front wheel drive, you hit the gas. Mm-hmm. In a rear wheel drive car, you don't hit the gas.
And that's what they did, and it snapped them back right. But I don't know. I mean, watching the Crown Vic class at Mount Lawn, I think the respect levels are different. And my dad says the same thing for the compacts. It's like they drive just as bad as you guys do. And I'm like, I don't see, like, in the driver's seat, I don't notice that. Like, I think people do, like, people in my division, or like even the pro compacts, because there's only 5 of them, they have, in my opinion, a little bit more respect about other people's equipment. For the most part.
I see where this is going. Because you see things in the stands that you don't see when you're on the track as a driver.
Yeah.
Now, I will say in the 20-lap features that the Crown Vics run, some of those get insanely hectic and stupid.
Yeah.
But the 50-lapper and the 100-lapper that we ran were probably
one of the cleanest races.
Cleanest races ever.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so for your guys as 20-lappers, we got guys hopping other cars and there's a couple times, I think it was the night of our 100-lapper, we almost had one flip on the backstretch. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it's just my different perspective on it, but also there's a picture on Facebook of when we took our team picture last year, my car looks like a freaking toy compared to your guys' car. So going from a freaking, little battery powered toy to a full size car,
well,
I think would also be a big difference.
I mean, I could make the same I daily drive a Ford Focus.
Right.
And my first race, I hop in a Crown Vic.
That's true.
Granted, I've been in one before. I ran laps. But, yeah, I see where you're coming from. But I think you could do it.
I would try it, absolutely. If somebody was like, hey, jump in this car, I would do it. It would just take some adjusting, I think.
So if I'm ever, there's a weekend where I can't race, would you hop in my car and race it?
I don't know, because I just announced that I wasn't competing. So,
I mean, if, I still think you should keep the fire suit and helmet handy. So, if there's ever a weekend that, I'm like, hey, something came up, I can't race the car for me.
I don't know. I also have, not trying to make excuses, but it's if somebody were to jump in my car, like Travis jumped in my car last year, if he tore it up, I wouldn't be mad because I acknowledge that, that's what could happen. I don't know how I apologize for being in somebody's way. God forbid I wreck somebody else's race car. I don't know what I would do.
But my car's literally in your garage, so I could force you to help me fix it.
Fair enough, but it's I wouldn't want to get to that predicament.
No, but...
So I don't know. I guess I'm just a...
I mean, it's a risk I take getting out there. If I wreck it, I have to fix it.
Yeah, but I would be pissed if I wrecked my own car, but I couldn't imagine wrecking somebody else's.
But also, as a car owner, that's a risk that I know could possibly happen.
Fair enough.
So,
I don't know, maybe. I would consider it for sure.
Okay, I don't know if you know this or not. I'm going to ask this question anyway. So if I'm racing for a points championship, do the points stick with the car or the driver? So if you hopped in my car and raced it for a race, would I get the points for it or no? Because it's technically you driving.
I don't believe so. I think it would go. They would just put me on the list.
Gotcha.
Which sucks because I see where you're going with that. But I don't believe that's how they operate.
Because I think there's a race I'm going to have to miss because I'm going to be on vacation. At least one.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know for sure. But anyway.
I will say, back to the announcement, Mom and Dad were pretty upset. And Dad was like, I think it's too early. I was like, we got 3 months. 3 or 4 months.
You might change your mind.
I don't got time. I don't have enough time to save money. The whole goal of the again,
That's true.
If you don't race, the off season goes by quick. You're like, oh, we got like how many months? A couple, and you're like, oh, I got time to save money,
And boom, hey, we race next week.
yeah, and it's like, oh, I have $5 to my name.
Yeah,
and the car's in pieces.
That's another thing I was going to say. You're wanting to move up to pro, so like this gives you a lot more time to like sit down and put a plan together. Mm-hmm. Pick out everything that you want, save up, like set, budget what you want, get a list together of all the parts you need, this, that, and the other. Like, all right, here's a number.
Well, and you also got to think too, like my mindset, again, going back to like, I think it'll benefit everybody me doing this, is that, I have a whole year to focus on, okay, how can I grow? How can myself grow DJG Motorsports as a team, as content creators? How can we develop relationships with potential partners? Even if they said, hey, we don't want to write a check right now, but we like what you're doing. Okay, we can develop that relationship over time so that by the time next year rolls around, I have the partnerships. But that's the other thing too is like, I could put the car back together and run in the stock compacts or run in the pro compacts and be last every week. But it's also like, at some point, like I want more for myself.
That's my thing. I don't want to run around in the back this year.
Right. And so in order for me to do that, I have to put in the work. I have to save the money. And so I guess to have a whole year to do it instead of 4, 5, 6 months to do it, I think would be a better option for me.
Right.
But it does suck. Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm excited to not race. Like, yeah, there'll be days where I'm like, damn, I wish I didn't make that decision. But I do think that in the grand scheme of things, it'll pay off.
Think big picture. Yeah.
Because I do before. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I wanted to say I think that 2022 is a big year for us. I think we did a lot that we'd never thought about doing, and we achieved a lot that we never thought we could. I really am confident in saying that 2023 I think will be a big year for us in a lot of ways. I think that it'll be like a domino effect where, okay, 2022 is great. 2023 will be amazing. The future. Like I told you today, like, I know where I want to be at with all of this in 5 or 6 years. And like I said, I think our visions all in a way align. It's just a matter of how do we get there. And I really do think that if we stick with it and we create a very comprehensive plan, I think we'll get there.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. And I also think on like the racing side of things, I think we have opportunities to win some races this year.
For sure.
Not me. I don't think I will.
Never say never, bud.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm still figuring out all the little secrets, I guess, here and there, little adjustments here and there that I can make that's like, oh, hey, this is it. And your dad's got some of them figured out. I think your dad will battle for a couple wins this year. My goal is to at least win a couple heat races.
Yeah. I almost won one, and then I was an idiot.
I got second in my first heat race to your dad.
Yeah.
He stuck his hand out the window and just left us. He waved goodbye. But
I will say, no offense to Dad, but because this was his first full year, right? Or was it last year? Gosh, time flies. I don't
think he raced every race last year.
Okay, so we'll say his first full time in the car. Yeah, I think that's right. So his first full year in the car, he did way better than I thought. Like, he picked up really quick. He got more aggressive throughout the season. He wasn't afraid to, bang doors a little bit. I was really impressed with him. I was also really impressed with you, and I've told you that before. Really impressed with how you performed in the 2 races that you did race. Because I honestly was like, I remember my first time, and I was like chicken shit scared, and you seemed cool, calm, and collected outside of the car anyway. I don't know how you were in the helmet,
dude,
but you looked great.
It's such a weird, like, explanation to this. Like, I know how to explain it, but it doesn't make sense to me. So first off, I'm not trying to sound cocky, but I definitely think I have the talent to be competitive at Mount Lawn in this class.
Yeah.
Driving talent. Now, once I figure out the speed and this, that, and the other, there's little things of just driving, but I think, like, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, to explain the feeling, like, I was nervous. Like, I was just like, oh, man, like, you know, whatever. And then I got strapped in the first time to go out on the track and got my belts on. I got everything ready to go, and I'm sitting, the car's running, and I'm next, like, to go out on the track. Like, we're sitting there waiting, and I could just feel, like, everything got real tight. And I was just like, but the moment I put the car in drive and drove out on the track, I was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I was like, that makes no sense. How sitting there waiting, I'm about to have a heart attack, but then I'm get out and do it, and I'm just like, whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, that's kind of like similar to, first of all, I don't think you're cocky, because I was thinking of that last night after I made the announcement. I was like, how do I explain this to people who really care? And I'm like, I think that I have talent. Not on iRacing. It does not show on iRacing, but in real life racing, I believe that I am a talented driver. I think I've developed a lot in the short couple of years. And I think I could perform well in almost anything you throw me in. I really do believe that. That's me being cocky. But when I first started racing, practice and qualifying was fine. I was great. I was like, I can do this. Feature starts, I'm like, oh shit, no, I can't. And like my leg, I couldn't keep my leg on the gas pedal. I was shaking so bad, so I had to like steer with one hand and push my leg down with my other hand. But after like 5 laps, I was like, all right, I got this. And then it's like now it's just like your mind switches.
I will say, though, I think what helped me out a lot is that I was supposed to start on the front of both features I started. I'm like, ain't happening. Ain't happening.
Yeah.
So I started from the rear. But, I mean, even just like my heat races, I was like out there passing people. It was just like, it felt natural. And I think the funniest thing to me, this is stupid of me to do, but I did it anyway. So we went and tested the car like the week before. No numbers on it, nothing. And I just wanted to make sure it ran like it would, whatever. And this car had sat for who knows how long before I ripped everything out of it and turned it into a race car.
Right.
And I go out, I ran. I was like, I'm gonna take it easy, just not straight balls to the wall. And then I'm like, okay. I pull off. The brakes are smoking. I'm like, are they on fire?
Right.
Well, then I'm like, okay, let them cool down. I'm like, all right, I'm going to hop back out and run a couple more laps just to see. I hop in. I'm like, brake pedal went to the floor. So
I've had that happen before.
Yeah,
Not fun.
That was scary.
Yeah,
I was like, good thing, like, I came off when I did, whatever. So then I replaced the brakes. No testing. Show up at the track for race day and just go out to practice like nothing happened.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know if these brakes work. Like, we obviously tested them as far as like getting it up on the trailer and bleeding the brakes and stuff like that. But I'm like, I have no idea how this is going to go going into the short turn.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then ended up losing brakes halfway through the 100-lap race. I debated hard. I was like, I'm just going to pull off. And then I was like, no, I'm not. No one ever became legendary by being a bitch.
Right. Yeah. No, I think you did really well this last year. I'm excited. So what is your plans for 2023, may I ask?
I think I might just run Mount Lawn.
No, I'm saying as far as their schedule.
I'm going to try to run as many as I can. If I'm available, I'm going to run.
Good deal.
Just because I want the seat time. Also, I would love to, obviously seat time's a big thing. Get used to the car. But also, there's little adjustments I'm going to find out during the season. Like, okay, I can make this here. I want comparison. I want comparison as the season progresses.
Right.
Not just, okay, well, I ran one race, I ran another. What's the difference between the two? It's
right.
Like, what were my lap times at the beginning of the season? Where did they end at the end of the season?
Right.
And then, as I get used to, as I get my confidence up behind the wheel of a car, I'm like, I'll go run Winchester. I'll go, maybe run Anderson, or I'm going to throw it on dirt. Who knows?
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I want to just hop on dirt, but I think that would be irresponsible of me. I think either way, like when I first get on dirt, I'm going to suck.
I was watching Chili Bowl, and they were talking about one of the little series that they have where it's like it's like their cheap version of getting into like dirt racing, and they compete at the Chili Bowl. I don't remember what division it was. Remember when I told you on iRacing, I was like, my toxic trait is going to like the virtual Chili Bowl and thinking I can do this and I can't. I saw that ad on, Flow Racing, and I was like, damn, I might buy myself a dirt car and go try it. Because my toxic trait is I can do that, knowing damn well I can't race dirt. I don't know, though. I'm better in real life than I am on iRacing, so maybe it would translate over to dirt. I don't know.
It might.
I saw a TQ Midget, was it, last year, and I was like, I'm going to buy that. It was like $1,500. I was like, I'm going to buy that.
But I also don't know how a front-wheel drive car would handle on dirt, so it might not be all that much different.
I watched the dirt races at Circle City on the telly, and
they probably all just hug the bottom. And
well, I mean, they raced like asphalt.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't like, I'm sure I could race my compact on dirt if they race like asphalt, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I would try it.
I would be the idiot. I would just go out there and rip the cushion in my Crown Vic, even though like the field's lapping me on the bottom. I'm out there wide open, just wah, bah, bah, banging it off the cushion, and I would be having a blast. I'm going 10 miles an hour, but hey, I look good doing it,
right? That's the only way to do it. But
I think that'd be so much fun. Or if this is also for chance, we went to Brownstown not last year, the year before. Mm-hmm. And they had Crown Vics out there, but in the turns it goes up the banking and then it just drops off. And there's a Crown Vic. I give Chance such a hard time. I'm like, Crown Vics are the backbone of racing, and we crack up about it. But there was one. It was about to blow up. Like it was having a hell of a day, and he's up there on the cushion, just whatever. He made it work one time, but then there was another one that went to throw it into 3 and got up too high and rolled it down the back of the banking on the turn.
Yeah.
And they flipped it back over and took off.
Going. Oh my. Not dirt related, but have you ever seen like modifieds racing on like, is it snow or ice? Or a mixture of both?
I've seen they have the sprint car race on ice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen modified.
Here's what we need to do. The weather app says that we could get a significant amount of snow Tuesday night and a Wednesday. Mount Lawn needs to be like, hey y'all, let's have a winter race.
That would be such a liability.
I don't give a shit. I would fuck it.
Have a field. Let's just make a track in the field.
So if we still have snow Saturday, let's just take the cars out and rip it.
I'm down.
That's why
I won't be here. I'll be in Brown County.
Right.
I leave Friday.
Yes. They do. I feel like I want to go to Minnesota so bad.
Minnesota.
Yeah, I want to go to Minnesota so bad. And they get good amounts of snow. We need to go up there and take our race cars up there somewhere, find an empty field, and just have a race.
Let it rip.
Yeah. I mean, they have snowmobile races too and stuff. Mm-hmm. That looks fun. Well,
I hate snowmobiles.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Rip Ken Block.
But I would love. Listen, I don't have the money, but when you look at Zello and you're like, oh, I wish I had that house, and you have $10. I would love to have a snowmobile. The bad thing is, we live in Indiana where it could be snowing and then tornado and
dude, literally,
we don't have enough snow. Speaking,
it was 60 degrees. It was high 50s.
Yeah,
and no, sorry, it was chilly. But it was thunderstorming, and in less than 24 hours, it was snowing.
Yeah, we had hail at work.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I thought a tornado was going to pass through town. But I would love to have a snowmobile, but it just doesn't snow enough here.
It has.
Yeah, but to use it one time a year?
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's not consistent enough. Thankfully, I'm glad it doesn't.
I mean, true, yeah. But I would love to just get on a snowmobile every day and just rip it.
Ride my snowmobile to work.
Pack my shit and move up to Minnesota. My mother and my father. Anyway, that's all I got tonight.
That is all I have as well. Thank you guys for joining us for episode 32
By the grace of God.
Episode 32, episode number 2 for the year. No, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us and listening to us go off on these 20-minute tangents that are completely irrelevant.
And that's why the episodes are always an hour and a half long. It's because we could get through it in probably 45 minutes, but hey,
I like that.
Where else are you going to find it?
I like that our episodes are over an hour long.
I do too.
That might be too long for some of y'all's attention span. I know it might be for mine. It
definitely is.
If
mine.
it's something that I'm not like deeply interested in, I couldn't do it. But
we try to talk about interesting things.
I mean, yeah, we sit here and talk the whole time. It's not like we just sit here and twiddle our thumbs for an hour and a half. But anyway, I'm sure we'll have more information about things posted on social media in the coming days.
Be sure to check out Victory Fuel.
Yeah, get you a case of Victory Fuel. This stuff is really good.
I'm going to buy me some more.
I am too. We'll be posting about the IROC series stuff, anything else that comes about.
If you all have any suggestions, by the way, let us know. You know where to find us.
We do appreciate any sort of shares, likes, interactions with our posts. It helps us.
Check out the YouTube.
Yeah. Our first episode of the year was our most viewed video.
And you know why I think that is? Why? Because I took the time to make a thumbnail.
Yes, I 100% was thinking
last year. I think that's why. I know that's why. Because last year it was always just like the picture of our logo, and then I was like, you know what? I've learned how to do this now. I'm going to make a thumbnail, and I think it worked.
I 100% think that is why.
So 2023 is the year of the thumbnails.
All right, guys. We will be back next week with another episode. See ya.